Do you think you could give us a rundown of what a good resume looks like? I am hoping you can talk about the formatting, the layout, and the wording.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to show. So I'm going to just share screen here and show you an example of my own resume. Generally, what I've found when it comes to most resumes, or I like to call it a six-figure resume, you only really need five main sections. And those main sections are as follows. You need contact details. Okay, this is what's going to be parsed into an applicant tracking system is standard. And generally, your current location, email, phone number, and LinkedIn URL, that is sufficient. What I personally recommend is a short summary section, which highlights the most relevant experiences depending on the job. This is the only section that I tweak and tailor when it comes to applying for roles. I don't change the whole resume. I just change the small section with the most relevant experiences. I also like to just kind of sum up the entire resume in one sentence. I do that very succinctly and objectively. So you've got those two sections where you've got the contact, you've got the summary, you've got the kind of professional experience section. So the company that you worked for, the title that you held, the location where you performed the work, and obviously the dates that you held that role. I also like to advise including a short company summary, 1 to 3 lines that just give a quick snapshot, what the business does, how many employees, their revenue or their operating budget or their fundraising, and the scope. Okay. Are they North America only or are they international? So giving a snapshot about the business. And then the actual bullet points, impactful, measurable metrics. Education is required for some roles, but not all. I have hired people, with 20 years of experience who don't have a degree. I've hired those individuals because, I think I personally find experience more important than a degree from 20 years ago. The exception to that, obviously, is in regulated industries, engineering, medical positions. They're going to require some form of education certificate or designation. So that's where it would be helpful to include those. But a resume just needs to be simple, straightforward, and clear.
Sam, there's something I want to pick your brain on. You mentioned that a resume should be measurable. Can you clarify what it means to be measurable on a resume?
Sure thing. You'll see a lot of advice online that it's important to quantify and have results in your resume. But that's oftentimes the most difficult part when it comes to working with an individual is they struggle to come up with metrics. And there often isn't a template or something, of a formula that individuals can use and apply to their own resume. So what I like to do with most of my clients is apply something called time, money, team, and scope. All of these things are applicable to any role at any level at any industry. So here's some examples. So time would refer to like what time frame did you do something? I reduced time to hire by 12 days. That's one measure of time by reducing something, the time it takes to do something. Another is just kind of mentioning, I could say that I recruited over 500 clinical and non-clinical staff, but I'm going to do it in under 2 years. Easy metric, but also objectively kind of indicates your level of experience or what you accomplished in that. Moving on to money, obviously, money is a very common one, but a lot of people think, my role, I'm an admin assistant, I don't generate revenue. But an admin assistant might support 4 executives, and those executives might support a $50 million business. And that's important for an individual to clarify that they're not just, aware of their role, they're aware of how their role feeds into a wider business. So I always think about money made, money managed, or money saved. There's different ways to quantify revenue or financial aspects about your role. Team is talking about your immediate team size. Whether someone was one HR person or one of 50 HR individuals is really important to give that size and structure. Team might also be clients, though. Team might also be who you worked with on a particular project. So it doesn't have to be your immediate team. There's always different ways of quantifying the team. Also, scope. A business, a local bakery might only serve a small town. But an international food organization that is manufacturing in 4 different countries, you're talking about a much wider market. So scopes often something that people miss out on the resume. A marketing agency in one city is very different to a global marketing organization. So it's really important to include these. So I always think about time, money, team, and scope.